gain or that topic that are little controversial. We are not getting such knowledge to kind of hold that opinion, but to have that social knowledge about the time we are living in. That is one of the key points he highlighted that I take to heart, and not to 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 to, to narrow our interest in a topic that is of solely in that we have solely interest in it, but we should try and broaden that reading habit. That is one of the key things I appreciate from the lecture of yesterday.
Hello, class. The lecturer is in now. Welcome, Mr. Clyde. Go. We welcome you to the class. Please, you can proceed, sir.
Good morning, guys, or is it good afternoon?
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Good morning.
I'm guessing the whole class cannot hear me. Can everyone hear me? Am I clear?
Good morning, you are being heard. We are
Good morning, sir. Welcome.
Right. Firstly, I'm sure you've gotten my profile. Not very impressive, just a random guy who happened to work for Supersport. So my name is Clyde Tlou from South Africa, and I'm the editor of supersport.com under the football department. So I'm currently the editor of that football section in that whole of supersport.com. And I'm hoping you guys are excited to be in this lecture. Is there anyone who has a question already, perhaps?
Please identify by putting up your hands up.
There's no one? Okay, I'm trying to play some presentation for you guys. I'm struggling with that. Okay, no screen sharing. Whew. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Sorry, come again, sir.
I'm unable to share my screen.
I think the host should make him co-host, please, so that he will be able to share his screen.
Can you see my screen, guys?
Yeah, we did, but the sound wasn't coming up, please.
Oh, there was no sound coming in. Oh, shucks. Okay, let me see. How do I put the sound?
Just by the right down corner, you see a box there indicating sound column. You just click it to come up, please.
All right. Okay. Okay, let's go back to that. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah,
Is the video playing, right?
not yet.
Is there video?
Play with your media to come up. It has not started. So can I make a suggestion to you, please, if you don't mind?
Yes.
Yeah, just play as you were playing it that time, man. Just play it. Once you are playing it, you go back to your share. Then
Okay, so I play it and then go back and share it.
Yeah, go back and share it. But before you share it, there will be a column where you click to enable the sound.
All
Just
right.
play. Yeah.
All right, let me play it with my media first. There we go. Is it clear?
It's coming up.
Is it clear?
Yeah, but the sound is not yet out.
The sound. All right.
It has nothing to do with the setting of the media. It's just the system. You have not clicked. Sir. Hello, sir.
Still no sound.
It's not a player. It's not a media player problem.
Oh, it's my audio settings.
Your system now. Go before you share it at your left. There is a call. There's a circle. You just click it. It sounds something there. You to come up with this.
Okay. Right, let's see.
The sound is still not coming out.
Still no sound.
Yes. So, sorry.
Can I perhaps send it to you?
You
You
play.
can play.
Play. Please.
Can I perhaps send it to you?
Even if I should, sir, you can do it. Let me just guide you. It may not. It has nothing to do with your media player. That's my point. I want you to understand. There is.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with your media. The player is okay, but in your Zoom now, when you want to, when you click share, there is a cycle in sound indicating there is a cycle there. You must click that cycle. If you don't click it, your sound will not come out.
Okay, so I click share, and then there is a still sound. All right. Okay. No, I see it.
Okay.
I see it now. I said what happened to my video? Is it clear now?
The sound came out.
Is it okay now?
You are not playing after that. Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Is it okay now?
But not actually what you intend to share. Go back now, Go back in that your share.
Yeah.
Now you see the media there. Is share it. What you are sharing is a file that you use to open the media.
Okay, so the video is not playing.
It was playing, but you were not sharing it. Now,
all right.
It was playing though. We heard the sound, but it wasn't what we were sharing. Just play it with your media. Perfect.
Perfect.
My name is Bob Farrell, and I've been very fortunate to work a lifetime as something I love doing, serving customers. For me, it was ice cream parlors. For you, maybe it's retail, healthcare, finance, etc. Whatever we do, remember, our business is not what we sell, it's who we serve. You and I are in the people business. We take care of people for a living. Hopefully, they leave happier than when they came in. At least that's what we try for. One of the best things that ever happened to me was to get a letter from a disappointed customer. Dear Mr. Farrell, I've been coming to your restaurant ever since you opened. I really love the place. Love your ice cream. I love the fun. I love your hamburgers. They're the best. I love your pickles. They are the best pickle in Seattle. I always ask for an extra pickle. They always give me one. Today, Mr. Farrell, I came in, had my usual, asked for an extra pickle from the young waitress. Well, I don't know where she got the idea, but she said, well, I'll have to sell you a side of pickles for 75 cents. If that's the way you're going to run your restaurant, Mr. Farrell, I'm not coming back. Well, I got that letter, and from an entrepreneur who's just starting on his second store, that hurt. I wrote him a letter. I said, please, we still give pickles away. Don't you worry about it. Da-da-da. Please come back. I gave him a coupon. But what happened is, and I thank him to this day, the war cry of our company became, give them the pickle. Take care of the customer. No matter what happens in our business and we hear something going on, somebody says, well, should we do it? Give them the pickle. I talk to companies all over the world. No matter where I go, I always find that successful companies and successful employees have mastered the same four things when it comes to taking care of customers. the first thing they do is give away pickles. They make people happy. In other words, they've made serving others their #1 priority. I spoke to a bunch of garbage men. They brought me in to speak on customer service. I gave the talk, and they gave me a big hand. They loved it, da-da-da-da. And after my talk, the guy comes up. He said, "Mr. Farrell, I love your story about the pickle." I said, "Well, thank you." He said, "We give pickles away all summer." I'm thinking garbage truck, pickles. This guy's got it screwed up. I said, "What do you mean you give pickles away?" He says, "We start lawnmowers." I said, "What? We start lawnmowers? What do you mean?" He said, "Well, my son and I, we drive around. He helps me in the summertime. And we see somebody up on their lawn cranking away. We stop the truck, go up there, and we start the lawnmower for them. We can start any lawnmower ever made." And I says, "You got it. That's the pickle." What's your pickle? What is that extra or special thing you do to make people happy? That's your pickle. Maybe it's walking the customer to the item they're looking for instead of just pointing. Maybe it's a handwritten thank you on every order shipped out to the customer. Maybe instead of just delivering their food, patients get a menu so they can order what they want when they want it. The trick is to find out what the customer wants. Make sure they get it. That's the pickle.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. So I see the video. It's when you look at it, you're thinking marketing, but yeah, that's what the modern journalist is. You are not just a journalist, you are also a marketer, you're also a business. Without you creating the stories that will bring in the hits, that bring in the people to like to visit our website, it means we don't get to make money. Because in the olden days, with the newspapers, you write your stories, you put it out in a paper, it gets distributed, people buy. That's how the business used to make money. But now in this digital world, you even have access to bigger markets. It means if you guys are sitting in Nigeria there, and I have a magazine here, it's called Clyde Gold, and then I'm selling hard copies in South Africa, maybe I'm going to make 10,000 or 2,000 rand or whatsoever it is. But now with the digital world, it means that magazine can go as far as Nigeria. You can share it with your friends who are wherever they are. And then that gives us what? The numbers that we're looking for marketers to then pay our salaries and, and also get the business running. So that's what the rise of digital media has brought. It has brought more and more access to information. And I think right now everyone has a smartphone. Is there anyone without a smartphone there? None? Right, so yeah, thanks to the penetration of the smartphones in Africa that we have so much access to information. Yes, internet is still a bit more expensive, but as time goes on, I think if you guys can get into this digital world right now, you'll be well ahead of everything. So to begin with, as a young journalist, remember when you get hired, one of the things that they ask is, where is your work? So without being employed, you might not have that portfolio to show off. This is my work. But what do you then do between now and that period where you get hired? You can start a blog. You can start a vlog. I think if you go on YouTube, there is a blog started by Sundowns fans, quite popular. It's a vlog. I think it's called Masandawana Fans. It's quite popular. It was just started by the fans, and these fans go around. It's more like Arsenal TV. These fans go around. They follow Sundowns. They speak to the coaches, the players, and other fans as well. And it's a quite popular blog. And I think that's where you as a young journalist can start. You have your pickle. So what is your pickle? What do you want to give out to the world that when you are not there, somebody will say, I know, or when somebody reads your story or listens to your story without, maybe if they muffled the sound of your voice, that person can simply say, you know what? I know the person who wrote this story. Why? Because they know the pickle that you have. They know the pickle that you've given to them. They know your writing style. They know your your presentation style of your story. So as a young journalist, you sit down and you decide, what is my pickle? I want all of you to ask yourself, what is your pickle? It could be maybe the way you write your stories, you tend to use humor as your center of everything, or you could be somebody who uses sarcasm. There must be something different about you. So try to bring out your character in everything that you do in journalism, and digital media is the starting point to that. There is obviously websites are easier to start, but then maintaining it is quite expensive. There's a lot of people who run to creating apps, but now the app is very expensive to maintain. And when you have an app, you need to ask yourself, can somebody sit in this app and stay in this app for as long as I want them to be? Because when you think about it, take for instance, my employer at the moment, I think we probably have one of the best apps in the continent when it comes to sports delivery of information. So when you go into that app, I can safely say you are going to spend more time in it if you are a football fan, because you'll get there, you'll find a match report about Liverpool winning yesterday. As you go through the match report, the app will suggest to you that, you know what, because you've opened a Liverpool story, we have match highlights. And then once you watch the match highlights, it will say, okay, look, since you seem interested in Liverpool content, how about you favorite the team? So this digital media is becoming like, you know, when a guy is trying to court a girl, you tend to ask them who they are, what do they like, so that you can serve it to them. So the rise of digital media has come up with what we call AI, that's artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, then these are algorithms that follow your behavior. So as you go through an app, whatever you click on, the app remembers you clicked on this and that and that and that. Then at the end of the day, or as time goes on, it will keep suggesting content that you might be interested in based on where you are clicking, what are you reading. So that's some of the things that are, or should I say, innovations that are making news becoming easier to access. I know a lot of guys here will tell you, look, I don't even go to news websites. I just go straight to social media, look at what's trending. But what's trending can be fake news. Do we have any questions so far?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you are talking about saying the app having ability to track our social interaction with the web in terms of reaching out to us with content and the algorithm and the AI. How can, the question I'm trying to ask is this: can we have a little understanding, brief narrative of how that works, as in how the algorithm is able to store and keep our interaction as we visit some of these places and advertise those content to us that they actually want us to kind of patronize. I just want to understand, how does that, the back end of it, if you have an idea?
Okay, there's some artificial intelligence that gets built into the app. So as you click, it's just like, as I said, it's like taking a lady on a date. You are getting to know them. So the first day you visit the app doesn't know you. It needs to know you. So how does it know you? It's just like, how do you know a lady when you are on a first date? You can't just get in there and be like, can you give a full chicken and what's this Nigerian soup that I like? Yeah, so you can't just get in there and sit down on a table with a lady and be like, waiter, can we have full chicken for the lady? You need to get to know her. So the app, the moment you open it, it says, it just gets excited. Here is a new visitor. Who is he? I would like to know this person. Firstly, if that app requires you to log in or put in some form of your personal details, then already it will have your name. There are some apps like the SuperSport app doesn't really need you to log in, but the more if you log in, then you get to have access to more of the things that no one else does have access to. So it's more like a give me your name, then give me your name, then I'll give you more information. I approach a lady and I say, tell me about yourself. And I don't give her my name, she'll be a bit coy in what she's giving. She won't give the entire information. But if I say, look, my name is Clyde and I would like to know you better, the icebreaker right there, we open up to each other. So that's how the app also works. You go into the app. When you start, the first thing you click, it ticks and says, okay, he might like this. If let's say with the SuperSport app, if you click on football, it says, okay, he likes football. So we can suggest anything football to him. And then when you move, you click Premier League, it says, okay, from that broad topic, which is football, he likes, which is sport, he likes football. But now football is still broad. What does he like in football? Then you go to match highlights. Says, he might be interested in match highlights. And then you select a team. Maybe it's Liverpool versus Villarreal. It says, okay, he might be a fan of either Villarreal or Liverpool. So it's getting to know you. The more you navigate through the app, it gets to know you, and then it starts suggesting content. And this is something as digital media people who operate the app or who design the app or put the information in the app, what we call content discovery. This is when you use AI to find out who's this person who's on my app. And we keep prompting. We eventually ask you questions like, what is your name? How old are you? Which part of the world are you from? So that we can start giving you things that are relating to you. But now, if I were to give you an example of the SuperSport app, as you continue, it then gives you a choice to say, why don't you personalize your experience? You choose what you want to see. It has rugby, football, cricket, athletics, hockey, and everything. So you get in there, you say, I'm a football person, I just want to see football. You switch off every sport. That's what the app will show you, just football. Anyone with a question?
Okay, Ejiro, I can see your hand up. Please ask your question.
Okay, good day. So you explained extensively as to using apps to generate information. I want to know if this is the same thing as email listing, where you go to a site and you give them your emails, and then they give you information about the product and services they have.
It's just about similar. If I were to use the example of the SuperSport app, if you go in there, you download the app, you go in, you can consume information there, but there is information that's only meant for people who are logged in. So when you log in, you are giving us what do you call it, personal information that we then have to promise that we will protect it. As you know, there is a POPI Act. If we take your information, we should not make it accessible to everyone and anyone. And we can't be asking for irrelevant information. Like if you're just consuming sports content on a sports app, we can't be asking you about, so what is your religion? So what is your favorite food? You came there as a sports person. So any information that we require from you, it must relate to what we might sell to you or what you require from us. Anyone else? Or did I answer you?
Okay, is there any other question? Please indicate.
Right, so can I proceed to the next subtopic, which is social media and journalism?
You answered my question, sir.
Did I answer it enough? Happy?
Yes, yes, sir, you did. You did.
All right. So now let's talk about social media. It was, I think it was back in 2005 when I decided I was going to join Twitter. At that time, I was a young journalist still in university, and Twitter was still new. So when I went there for a few days, I saw people, it wasn't as vicious as it is today. So I got there and I said to myself, but why am I here? I need to have my pickle. Remember the pickle that we spoke about? So I need to have my pickle, because I'm not just here for fun. I'm not here to just like, retweet and have fun. For me, social media was about building a brand that today and tomorrow, if I went somewhere, somebody will say, oh, Clyde Cole, I know you. I've seen this being said about you. I've seen this on social media or something. So 2005, I started, I think my first tweet was, hello, everyone. And then after a few days, I thought about it and I said, that's not brand material. I cannot be greeting what do you call it? A nameless, faceless crowd. So I went back and I started tweeting about football. The more I started tweeting about football, my community grew. A lot of people started following me on Twitter, and then I started following them. And then that was back in 2005. And I think was it 2015 or 2012 when Premier League came to Africa. I don't know if anyone remembers that, when Premier League decided to come to South Africa and do activations. They went to Cape Town. I think they also went to Kenya. Not sure about Nigeria. So while I was just sitting, I got an email from an agency. I thought they were trying to scam me. The agency said, look, according to our logarithms, it says you are a football influencer in Africa. And I sat there and I thought, wait, I don't even have 2,000 followers, but how am I even an influencer? Then I remembered, oh, look, I decided my pickle was going to be football, but because everyone posts about football, I'm going to my posts are going to be different. I use a lot of sarcasm. If you go through my timeline, you'll see a lot of sarcasm, a lot of funny way of telling something. So I don't just say, okay, a glass has fallen and the water is spilled. I find a way of putting it in a different way that when you read it, you're like, okay, I didn't think of it that way, but yeah. So when the Premier League agency spoke to me, they said they wanted me to be an influencer for that weekend. And they asked me how much I wanted. I had never done something similar before. And I said, look, now I'm scratching my head. I was like, I just want about $2,500. I think that's like 150 or 120 US dollars per day, which was Saturday and Sunday. And all they wanted was give me tweets about Premier League. And fortunately, because I had been working for SuperSport during a World Cup, I had worked with John Dykes. I'm sure a lot of you guys will know him. Worked with Giggs and Ryan Giggs, all of these people. So I had nice pictures with these guys. I had pictures with Lucas Khadebe, which I think whenever you tweet it, Leeds fans lose their mind. They just love him. So what I'm trying to say is, don't just be on social media for the likes and the comments and the fame and the slandering. Be there to give the people the pickle. Grow that brand. From today, ask yourself, who am I? And you are a brand, and brands associate themselves with other brands. That's why if you decided today you're going to tweet something something terrible, maybe say about the ladies or religion, your company immediately maybe fires you, because why? We are no longer just people, we are brands. So a company as a brand, by hiring you, they're not just hiring you, they are saying we associate with this person who shares almost the same views as us, who shares almost the same values as us. So once you deviate and you start doing the wrong things all over these social media spaces, they immediately say, we need to deassociate with this person. So what I'm saying to you guys is think of yourselves as brands. So whenever you go on air or you are writing for a paper or a magazine, think of yourself as a brand. Say, I'm putting my brand out there so that even if my brand is currently in Nigeria, somebody who's in South Africa or who's in Botswana will say, look, I saw a certain brand that I liked, I need to associate with. And that's how you grow your network of sources, and you can have more access to information. And it is through social media also that I managed to build a great network of sources. If I wanted a story today in Nigeria, I don't really need to travel to Nigeria. I just need to call a Semi, for instance, because of the relationship that we have built. And in that relationship that we have built, we are at a stage where we don't ask for money. And I think a lot of young journalists, the worst mistake you can make is, if you're asked for something, you immediately say, how much are you going to give me? Sometimes look at the bigger picture. You can get $100, but what is $100 in the bigger scheme of things? You think about tomorrow. How do I build this relationship? How do I make this $100 become 10,000, become $1 million? And how do you do that? It's first build a relationship. Just don't say, I'm creating content, I give you content and then I move on. No. After you give someone, find out what else will they be interested in. Can you make it better? Get feedback from them as well. Is it good enough? What can I improve? Don't be afraid to get feedback. Any questions, guys?
Please, if you have any question, indicate by raising your hand.
Okay, we do not have a question. All right, and now moving on to something that's okay. We have 2 hands there. Joshua, you wanna go ahead?
Yes, sir. My question is, in Nigeria at the moment, we have young journalists, and you're talking about building a brand, making yourself known and identifying yourself as a brand. Yeah, we others who are bigger brands or who are investors want to associate with you. My question is, we're having this as a challenge in Nigeria. How do one actually work himself up to the level to building brands or connecting himself with other brands outside Nigeria? You know, brands outside Nigeria who would want to take young journalists, take young entrepreneurs into their corpus, into their wings, and grow them. That's my question.
Okay. The easiest of the ways, because in the olden days, you know, I'm sure, I don't know if it happened in Nigeria, where you had the exchange students and pen pals, where you write letters to the other school and people respond. But now social media has given you access to just about everyone. So you go onto social media, you look for these people who are verified. People who are verified, usually their profiles will state, who's this person, what do they do? So you follow these people, you engage with their content. And as you engage with their content, it's that thing I was talking about. It's the same as the app. They warm up to you. I'm starting to see Joshua is engaging with a lot of my content. Then eventually we start having that more like a personal or digitally relationship, where you respond to me, I respond to you, and eventually it gets to a stage where you can send me a direct message and say, look, I'm a young journalist from Nigeria. I would like to grow, or I would like to become better. So one of the first thing is, if possible, there's someone that made you like media. I'm sure as you grow up, there's somebody you watched on TV, you read from the papers, and you're like, I idolize that person. I'm in media because this person made me fall in love with this thing. If you can find those people, ask them, tell them, give them the flowers while they can still smell them, and ask them to to make a lot of them out of you. And in doing that, you've built a relationship with this person, and then you get mentorship. And there's a lot of journalists that I know who would like to share their experiences in this media world, but there is no way to share it because one, remember with the publications, there is a limitation as to what you can share. Let me say, for instance, with SuperSport, I can't speak about my travels when I traveled to Zambia, when I traveled to Congo, when I traveled, because it's a football website. But the moment I spoke about a TP Mazembe Stadium this one time, there's a guy from Congo who said, "Hi, what were you doing in Congo?" And then I told him, and then he said, "Oh, I just checked your profile. You are a journalist. I'm a young journalist from Congo, and I would like you to mentor me or help me grow, become a better person." And I said, more than happy to do that. So follow the right people, which is the first stage of associating with you with the right brands on social media. Follow the right people. Secondly, if you know these people that you idolize, speak to them, get close to them. Thirdly, find a mentor. There is a lot of qualified journalists that are in and around in Nigeria. Ask them to mentor you, and then write blogs, go to a magazine or maybe newspaper or a radio station and volunteer your services. If I can take you back, I think when I started, I actually walked to a community radio station and I said, can I become your sports presenter? And the station manager looked at me and said, are you asking for a job or what are you trying to say? And I said, I don't know, but I would like to volunteer. I would like to learn something while I give something to the station. And then she said, okay, you can come tomorrow at 5 a.m. The show starts at 6. You'll read a 5 minutes bulletin. And I at that time, I never read a bulletin. I went in there and I think I did my best. And from that time, I continued working at a community radio station without pay. And it was via that community radio station that I met people from goal.com who then hired me to write for them. And from goal.com, I went to SuperSport. I remember when I did my interview at SuperSport, the two managers said, what is your name? And I said, Clyde. They said, who, Clyde? And I said, okay, why? They said, no, your name is trending. And then I said, trending how? They said, are you not the one that made the Kaizer Chiefs coach very angry? And yes, I did make the Kaizer Chiefs coach very angry. I think it was Vladimir Vemezovic at the time. So it was at an event. I was coming from a community radio station. I had a sound recorder. So as we were talking to the coach, I then asked him why he wasn't playing Kaizer Motaung Jr., who was the son of the chairman of the club of Kaizer Chiefs. So the coach said, look, maybe we have better strikers than Kaizer. So I went and wrote that story for goal.com. And then when I wrote that story, the coach, because, well, that's the chairman's son, maybe the Kaizer Chiefs are quite savvy. They always follow this, what's being said about themselves in the media. So I think they pulled out that story and the coach said, he never said that. So everyone at the club was looking for me. In the media, they were looking for me. You know Robert Marawa, right? Yeah, so I ended up on Marawa's show where I was being asked if Vemezovic really said that. And I explicitly said, yes, he said that. And then he was on a TV show. I think he was in a match just before that show where he had said there is a lot of incredible journalists. There's a lot of journalists without credibility who just write things. They suck things out of their thumbs. But then when the whole nation was like pointing fingers at me as somebody who was trying to create commotion at Chiefs, I pulled out my pickle, which was that sound clip. And there it was. The coach said clearly, we have better strikers than Kaizer. He went on national TV and he apologized. And I think one of his words, he said, you know, sometimes with us guys from Europe, we tend to think with our our balls instead of our heads and something like that. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is when it comes to credibility, avoid, if you're a sports writer, avoid declaring your team, because if you declare that you support Enyimba, whatever you say about Enyimba, when I read it, I'm like, he's a fan. He will never give an honest opinion. I haven't even read anything. I'm like, semi supports Enyimba. So whatever you will say sounds like a fan. If possible, we know there's you before the journalist. If possible, give us the journalists before the you. The same way when, as journalists, I think journalists, we all vote, we go and vote, but yeah, the moment you declare your party, then a lot of people de-associate with you. So for you to have that big community, if possible, keep it a secret who you support. Let your family know that you support this team. I think while I was working for goal.com, because I was writing on a weekly basis, I was called a Chiefs fan, then I was called a Chiefs hater, then I was a Pirates fan, then I was like a Pirates hater, then I became a Soweto hater, then I was called a Sundowns fan, then they said I hate Sundowns, then I hated Sundowns, Pirates and Chiefs, and then I was a Bafana fan. So yeah, that's just about it. And any question, guys?
Please identify by raising up your hand.
Delight, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, although I just want to ask, can we get your handle on social media, like your Twitter or Facebook handle, please, if you don't mind?
All over social media, it's at Clyde Goal. Maybe let me just put it in the chat. So if you, I'm sure you can see a bit of synergy there, that I said all over social media, I'm Clyde Goal. So the brand.
I just checked it, I see it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just checked that handle, I could not see it on Twitter, please.
At Clyde Goal. Check the spelling.
Okay. Okay.
Right, you found it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on. I just followed you now. The Messiah of Sports.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go. So that's my pickle. I decided I'm going to be the Messiah of sport, but ironically, Messiah happens to be my dad's name. So that's where the tagline came from. So as I said, from today, you guys need to decide you are a brand, pick brands that you want to associate with, and go ahead and shine. Anyone with any question? And the other thing, volunteering, guys, it's not don't always be looking for money. If you can volunteer, you can write a feature weekly. Remember, websites, they give numbers. So if you write a nice feature for us, and then, like, for instance, and then 5,000 people read it, even the money people will start asking, who is this Delight? Is he part of us? We're like, no, he's volunteering. They're like, no, bring him in. We can use sponsored content with his name. Okay, Steven.
All right, sir. So, this year, the name Cloud Go. Right now you no longer work with Go.com, right?
Yeah, I left Gold. But yeah, when I was at Gold.com, they asked us as all journalists to create Twitter accounts. So there was a guy, I think was from Algeria. His name was Rami. So he said Rami Gold, and then it became. Then he said. Then they said, "What will be your Twitter name?" And I said, "Okay, what am I going to say?" Then I said, "Clyde Gold." just to associate with Goal at the time. And then when I left Goal.com, one of my former lecturers in media, who was a radio lecturer, came to me one day. I met him in the city, and he said, "Are you aware that your Twitter name is bigger than you as Clyde Tlou?" So that's when I decided, look, I'm gonna keep it as Clyde Goal. No one, only you guys will understand, because I've told you I worked for Goal.com.
Okay, but you still work with SuperSport now.
Yes, I'm the football editor of SuperSport.
Okay, so in future now you start using Clyde SuperSport too.
No. Remember what I said about a brand? People associate with a certain brand. So I had built my name to get to SuperSport as Clyde Gold. There is absolutely no need to change that name, because it has become a brand that people associate with. If I change to Clyde SuperSport, it becomes somebody completely new to other people, as they keep hearing about a Clyde Gold. Then they have to pin it together and say, oh, this is the former Clyde Gold who's now Clyde SuperSport. What I can do maybe is change, include it in my name there, in my, what do you call it? The handle stays the same as Clyde Gold. Anyone with a question? Did I answer you?
Very well, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyone with a question?
Yeah, my name is Elvis. How can we volunteer for, let's say, something like Super Sports? And if someone is going the route of a blog, like, can you guide us in writing a blog or something?
Okay, when it comes to volunteering, start with your community media. It's the easiest place to start. As you heard, I started with community radio as well. So when I went to SuperSport, they already knew about me. They'd never met me. That was the difference. So if you can start with your community media, start contributing in your community radio stations, community newspapers, and then when it comes to blogs, there's a lot of blogging web sites where you can create your microsite and blog there. You can choose, for instance, if you write about football, you need to, as I said, identify what's your pickle. If your strength is tactics, go ahead and write about tactics. I think with me, I've studied sports administration. I have a FIFA sports management qualification. I have a FIFA medical diploma. So I can just about respond to questions about players' injuries. Whenever a doctor says the player suffered broken his metatarsal, I'll understand what is he talking about. Then I can then simplify it for the writer. Remember, as a writer, we cannot say to the writer, the metatarsal, somebody broke a metatarsal, and then the writer now has to find out what is that. You need to simplify it. What is that in simple terms? Doctors will tell you in their medical terms. You simplify it. So yeah, that's just about it. Find some blogging site. I think there was a blog spot before. I don't know if it's still there. I used to have a blog there where I was writing a lot of football, rugby, cricket content, because at the community radio station, I used to cover all sports, but then I found my pickle, which was football. Anyone else?
Yeah, my hand is up.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So in regards to the community level of starting our outreach, for instance, now the internet has made the world a global village. Is there a forum where upcoming journalists can being that we can render such community service as it were in a local setting, like a forum over that upcoming journalism can render such services?
Yeah, I think for a start, Facebook is the easiest way to find things. You go there and search for journalism groups. I was in one journalism group. There was like lots of employment and volunteering opportunities available there. I left because the information it was just too many notifications in one day. So it was too much for me. So I had to leave that group. So Facebook is a starting point to search for what you're looking for. A lot of people, when they create these communities, the first thing they think about, let's create a Facebook group. Twitter is not really a good environment to look for communities to start something. So Facebook is a right starting point to look for these communities where they will guide you. If you are in Nigeria, we might need news about Nigeria. So can we have you in our books? And then they pay you. Eventually they do pay you. But yeah, if you can start, if somebody says, can you assist us with this? Avoid questions about how much will you pay me first. Try to build the relationship first, and then you can ask about how much. You don't lose anything at the end of the day. At that time, you don't have anything. So if you get $100, as I said, that's it. It's over. But if you can build a relationship, that's more $100 is coming. Delight?
Yeah. Is there anyone? Why I'm trying to ask is just to be certain of we are in the right forum. Is there any of them you have in mind, like any of the forum you know by name?
Not from the top of my head, but if you guys can just DM me, or if you go on Twitter and you send me a message, I can be able to send you some to the right direction where you can go. Yeah.
Okay,
And
I'll be interested. Thank you, sir.
yeah, and about the other thing, just something interesting for you guys. If you build relationships with, let's say, South African journalists, and there's lots of Nigerian players playing here, and a journalist from South Africa is giving you information about a certain player. The more you write these stories, that's uniquely you. No one else has access to that. So people get to read that, and they get to know your brand, and you are building a relationship with that South African journalist. Sundowns can be playing in Nigeria. When they're playing in Nigeria, he can say, look, I couldn't travel there. Can you go to the training? When they have a press conference, you get me a sound, you give him a sound. That's what we call the social currency. There's no money involved. I give you a certain service, you return the certain service. A good example is 2014, I think we traveled to Zambia. I'd established a lot of relationships with Zambian journalists, and when we got to Zambia, the person who was supposed to pay for our flights didn't pay for the connecting flight from Lusaka to Ndola. So when we got there, we asked the lady at the airport, how much will that flight cost? He said $100. I was like, no. Why is it $100? And said, no, because there's an AFCON happening in Zambia, like an under-20 AFCON. So flights are in demand. So you'll have to pay more money. So eventually I said, the guy I was with said, look, let's pay the $100. SAFA will refund us. I said, no, the SAFA won't refund you that money. So I then remembered, look, I've built relationships with a lot of Zambian journalists and sports administrators. All I did was send a text and say, look, we are stuck at the airport. We don't know what to do. And somebody said, look, I have 2 rooms that are fully paid for in a hotel somewhere in Lusaka. Go and stay there. We were taken care of. And ironically, the same person happened to be in South Africa, got here and found out that his company had not paid for his hotel bill. And guess what happened? We paid for his bill, and he was sorted. When the company eventually, he managed to get hold of them, he would have spent that night outside. So we managed to cover that bill. So that's how you build relationships, and you eventually reap rewards from it. Any final 3 questions? I need to prepare for my next meeting, guys.
I think there is no other question. Proceed.
Okay. I'll just send you my email address if anyone wants any guidance, help. I'm not rich, so don't ask me for money. I always say, if you find me fishing, don't ask me for fish, ask me for a fishing rod and how do I fish, so that you can do it for yourself and your family. So I don't have money. If you send me an email, don't ask me for money. You can ask me, how can I use digital media to be the brand that I want to be, or to make money. I can give you advice on how to go and make money on digital media, but it's all up to you if you'll be able to crack it. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the best.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.